What things really make you cringe? Recordings of my own voice. Why does every other voice on the planet sound like Morgan F. Freeman and mine sounds like Gilbert Gottfried on helium? Mine sounds like goddamn Donald Duck. I knew this exchange student in HS that sounded like Kermit with a heavy Japanese accent. Hi ho Kenji the frog here. Short answer. You sound different to yourself so your expectations are not met. Long answer. People hear the recording voice, you hear the reverberations of your voice through your headphones, so it sounds deeper. Everyone knows deeper equals nicer sounding. So when you get that shock value of who TF is that speaking right now, it sounds so bad. Final results. Peeps who have deeper recording voices, you have a gift, go record something for the rest of us. Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington probably sound sexy as hell to themselves. Women who refute my deeper equals nicer claim, go find you a partner who enjoys being spoken to in a deep authoritative voice. Or describe your voice as profound voice instead of deep voice. Whatever floats your boat. Everyone wanting to know more, unfortunately my brain is like an index. I can remember the clickbait of info I learn which will get me through the first 45 seconds of a discussion about said topic. I have no idea if I'm completely right, but I know I'm like 85% right. I'm a college kid, not a ear doctor guy. Wikipedia the shit out of it or forget it by tomorrow. Good night you all. Plus I'm a guy, but my voice never truly changed. It's better now but still sounds childish and I'm mistaken as a woman over the phone sometimes. And I have this constant anxiety that no one will ever really take me seriously. I can relate to that on so many levels. My voice is high for a guy and I am constantly either mistaken for a woman on the phone. All topped off with a baby face. Yes. I always sound congested. Like, holy shit, anyone else ever hear your own voice and think dear god, that sounds so much higher pitched and whiny than it actually does. It sounds better to you because it's resonating through your own bones rather than just your ears, but to the rest of us you sound like a pussy. The hillbilly is real with me. Same. I was terrified on my first date with my GF. Had to call for directions, thought she would think I was a dumb hick. Turned out she swooned over my accent. Sploosh. Videos of people getting caught in lies. Oh, I need to see some of these. Strangely check out are confidently incorrect. Oh wow. I tried to watch the top posts of all time, but it was just too much for me. Good call. When I remember my high school interactions in general. Not so much an interaction, but I took my senior year school photo as a joke and thought I would be super goofy looking. I had long hair, I'm a guy BTW, and pulled it into a weird top pony and flared it out. I kept looking behind me at the line for some kind of approval, and the photographer even asked me 3 times if this is what I really wanted. Now I have to live with that for the rest of my life when I pull out the yearbook. Go read your old Facebook posts. F. That's why I love that you delete those old posts as they show up in the memories folder. High school was true painful cringe. I told a French exchange student that I loved him in French and he just walked away. I die every time I think about it. A friend of mine told a girl I liked that I liked her while she was in front of me, so I ran away. I was a senior. She tried to talk to me 4 different times after that. Every time she did, I ran away. Edit. Yes. Absorb my shame. Become one with me. A true Redditor. Extreme self-delusion. Usually it's funny enough to make up for it, but sometimes it's just so sad to see somebody who can't accept reality. Amberlynn on YouTube. She's about 600 pounds. Has been trying to lose weight for 4 years online. She recently said instead of 2 sandwiches, I had 4 half sandwiches. The delusion is strong. Edit. To everyone actually trying to get better, good on you. Keep it up. This girl has time, makes a lot of money, and is still bullshitting with her health. She says doctors tell her she's healthy. At 600 pounds. She's not trying. She needs help. Food is a tough addiction. Over my multiple attempts at losing weight, I've lost a total of 120 pounds, but every time I relapsed and gained it back. Edit. Getting a lot of replies, so I might as well get some things out of the way. Ever since the quarantine, I've been trying to lose weight again. Lost 10 pounds since the beginning of March, so not too bad. Also, gonna copy and paste one of my replies since I think it's pretty relevant and might answer some questions. My issues stem from 2 things. I've been obese since I was a little kid. Eating shit tons of unhealthy food is what I know, and it's easy to fall back on. I can't remember being a healthy weight or having a healthy diet. Self-esteem issues and comfort boredom eating. Thankfully, this isn't that much of an issue as it used to be, but I still struggle with eating out of boredom. When I was younger, I obviously got bullied a lot. I was a 280-pound 7th grader. On really shitty days, I'd go through multiple bags of chips and cookies, as it was one of the only ways I knew how to deal with emotions. Unlike other addictions that you can quit cold turkey, you still have to eat sometimes. Try recovering from alcoholism while still having a drink with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That would take some serious willpower. Edit. I realize that you can't always quit cold turkey with alcohol, but my point is that once you've tapered down, you never need to drink again. You always need to eat, and high-calorie, low-nutrient food is often abundant and cheap. The temptation is higher and requires greater willpower to resist. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold. This is now my #1 most upvoted comment. Delusion fits that bill pretty well. According to his dad, the only time he ever actually broke out of that state of extreme delusion and self-absorption was when he was sitting in juvenile detention being interviewed by an officer, so maybe once the law catches up to him, he'll realize just how F he is. Self-diagnosed psychopaths. Reminds of that I'm a sociopath AMA. Reddit thread where he unironically said, "Hell lot." Got a link? Heh. There is actually a whole documentary about a guy whose whole identity is based on him being a self-professed psychopath. He goes and takes loads and loads of tests to prove it, and it is exactly as cringy as you think. The time I was talking too loud at a wedding when I wasn't supposed to, and everyone at the wedding turned around to see what asshole wouldn't shut up. I was across a table from some friends who did this during the reception speeches because they didn't realize what was happening. The bride's brother is a pretty well-known actor and happened to be 5 feet away from them giving his speech, which he stopped in the middle to yell at them to shut up. I hope it was Stephen Baldwin. Yeah, I made a loud, unflattering comment about my befriend's bridesmaid that should have been me. My date whispered we should talk about this later. Reminds me of my friend's second wedding. I was the best man and I started the speech with, "Welcome back everyone." I cringe at it to this day lol. You didn't get invited to the third, I take it. Don't cringe, that's brilliant. I reckon it's one of those things which would be funny in a sitcom, but would most likely just be very awkward in real life. When I remember that I do have a boyfriend, he just goes to another school thing. As an adult with a real girlfriend in another country, I feel like a high school fraud when it comes up. Lol. How did that happen? Don't worry, I believe you. Wink smiley. I met my wife on Christian Mingle. She lived in Michigan, I lived in a place in Canada you've never heard of. Wait. You live in Canada? That makes your girlfriend a fraud when she has to say, "Oh, I have a boyfriend. He lives somewhere in Canada." Lol. Lol, no, I did. I moved to Michigan and married her. We technically could have been on 90-day fiancé. When someone is obviously lying. Reminds me of that one chick who got caught trying to put a hit on her husband for his money, and they played him the video of her saying she was 5,000% sure she wanted him dead, and then she was like, "No babe, that was a lie, please help me, they're gonna take me to jail." No. Didn't she just get house arrest for it or something? I remember feeling like she had gotten away with attempted murder because her sentencing was so light. Edit. So apparently she got 16 years justice lives. That was one really messed up case, yo. The depths of some people's craziness. She had tricked him into taking his name off of the deed to their house before she tried to have him killed, so in the end she got a house out of the whole ordeal. In the phone call where she tries to convince her ex-husband to help her, yes, the one she tried to have killed, he says he will help her mom financially if she signs the house back to him, and she says no. Secondhand embarrassment. It makes me physically ill. Someone obviously showing off at doing something when they're not that good at it really gets to me. The worst is when someone is singing along to a song, but instead of just vibing and singing for their own pleasure, they're looking around to make sure that other people are watching them sing. It's the worst. Just to be clear, doing something badly just because you enjoy it is encouraged and celebrated. You should see me on a dance floor. It's like an epileptic octopus. It's when the person doing it thinks they're good at it and has that smugness or attitude and is doing it for praise from other people, but they're not actually good at that thing. Watching the auditions for X Factor makes me feel sick. I relate to this so hard, I have to mute the TV I'm watching when a character is about to say do something embarrassing. Yes. I watched Love Actually on Netflix, and it only took me an hour because I had to skip over all the awkward bits. It makes me so uncomfortable, I cannot understand how people enjoy it. Fun fact. The entire 9 seasons of The Office is only 49 minutes long when all the cringe is edited out. I was invited to Carrick by a friend of a friend. Not my scene, but the drinks were cheap so I went. He kept insulting most of the singers. They weren't great, but not terrible. He just kept insisting he was a great singer and just wait until it was his turn because he was going to school everyone. I'm sure you can guess by now that he was, by far, the worst singer there. I can't understand how he didn't know. I almost thought he was joking, but nope. He was super smug. And since I didn't really know him that well, I wasn't going to be the one to call him out. I haven't seen Carrick since. It's just too uncomfortable. This is my nightmare. You'd think someone would have told him before then. You see it all the time on audition shows, people who think they're amazing. Have their friends or family not told them that they're actually the worst? Seeing an adult complaint like a child to waiters, cashiers, etc. My aunt flipped her shit at a game store employee because they didn't give her a good amount of money for a copy of Final Fantasy on PS3. Keep in mind she's in her 40s. Was it GameStop? I bet it was GameStop. Yep,